out, please.
Okay.
Because I'm done with you.
Okay.
Okay. My son, financially and also health-wise, is the best.
I didn't mean to upset
Leave me
you. I'll leave you alone.
Go away.
Okay.
Go away.
Okay.
Go away. This is my third time crying.
All right.
And I cried the other day.
It's so heartbreaking to watch. And that's a look at the new Lifetime documentary, Where is Wendy Williams, which premiered over the weekend.
So here to weigh in on the much talked about documentary is entertainment journalist Jazzie Belle. Good to see you, Jazzie.
Good morning. It's always great to be here with you guys.
I only saw half. I didn't see the second part. It was tough to watch, right? You interviewed Wendy Williams for your podcast, Women in Hip Hop, right?
Yes.
You were on the show many times, so you know her a bit. When the Wendy you knew to what you saw in the documentary, what did you make of it?
Well, for one, it was heartbreaking to watch. I mean, and every time I was around Wendy, she is the life of the party. She's such a joy to be around. She's such a light. And even if you never met Wendy, as a fan, you know she is this iconic figure. So to see her go from this iconic status to watch her pretty much in the thick of her struggle is devastating. And I'm sure all the fans around the world felt the same way. It was devastating to watch.
Yeah, and she's listed as an executive producer. Do you think that she had any control? I mean, based on what you saw?
Honestly, when you have someone that's struggling with dementia, struggling with alcoholism, how much control do you really have? You know? And it was hard to watch because we don't know if this was a way to exploit her or the way to help her, right? When you see her showing her lymphedema issues at her feet and saying that I'm showing it because it's funny. It's not funny, you know? So you have to ask yourself, and these producers, why did y'all choose to show that? It was, I think, a way they could have made an executive decision and say, let's at least exclude that. So I don't think she had much control.
Well, yeah, because there were other things, some with her hair as well, that some were saying that if Wendy had a say in it, probably wouldn't have made it into the final picture because of how proud she was of her appearance.
You know she loved her wigs.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Wendy is a wiggy. So when we saw her without her wigs, we were flabbergasted, to say the least. And it was disappointing to see, but you know, again, when you're struggling with addiction, how much control do you really have? And we understand that she's an executive producer, but she needs to get help first. She should not be in front of the camera.
Now, the courts put Wendy under court-appointed professional guardianship instead of the care of her family.
Right.
Do you feel like that was the right decision?
You know, here's what I think about that. I know when it comes to your loved ones that's struggling with substance abuse, you want to help them.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think friends and family are equipped with the right tools to help them, right? But with that being said, we see how it all unfolded with the court-appointed guardianship. They didn't seem like they were doing a good job either, right? I mean, she was fleeing to LA getting drunk. She was waking up, going to sleep drunk, waking up, drinking again, going to sleep. So to me, I wish it could have been a fine medium to where, okay, the friends and family can't fully help her, but can we have it to where the guardianship at least is in contact with the family because they love her and they mean well by her. So it would have been helpful to see them being able to communicate with the family instead of the management team, which I thought was a terrible idea because that's her lifeline, it's her family.
Well, yeah, but the whole idea of the podcast, right, besides shedding a light on what exactly she's going through, which may or may not be a good thing for some folks, bad things for others, right, was supposed to relaunch her career, give her this podcast, right? But now, like you're saying, some are saying, well, maybe that, seeing the condition she's in, there won't be a podcast. What do you think?
I think we don't need a podcast. I mean, honestly, as much as I love the Wendy Williams show, as much as I miss seeing Wendy Williams on my television, spilling the tea and being messy, I love Wendy Williams much more. And I want her to get healthy. So I feel like her health is more of a serious issue where that needs to be in the forefront, that needs to be handled first before she gets in front of the camera. So I'm hoping that this documentary is something that Wendy can watch and say, okay, I need to get help. I'm getting the help, and before I can even think about getting in front of the camera, I have to make sure that my health comes first.
And we learned that she didn't even know her show was ending.
That was heartbreaking.
Unbelievable.
Listen, I tell people all the time, even myself, you know, it's people that put their careers first, that love their careers. Nothing is wrong with that, but we need that work-life balance because we know the minute you get sick or something happens to you, God forbid, they're cleaning out your cubicle and somebody else is there. You know, and Wendy has given us 14 years of entertainment. She gave her blood, sweat, and tears. And for them to rip that away from her and not tell her, I think it was very disrespectful.
Yeah, that was really a heartbreaking moment.
Yeah.
But there were I mean, the whole thing was heartbreaking, but there were so many eye-opening moments. So many people were on board talking from her family, right? You had her nephew, niece, sister, father, her son, close friends, her management team. So they did get a large majority of the folks who were closest to her, her sister, to talk.
Yeah.
Which was interesting to see their perspective of it all.
Yeah, I love the family, and I give my love and support to the Wendy Williams family. I mean, you can tell that the son, Alex, the niece, who I think is doing an amazing job as being her spokesperson and speaking up for her and letting them know the conditions that her aunt is in. And the family wants to see her do well. But as we know, when you're dealing with someone that has addiction, they have to want to get the help first.
Exactly.
You know, you have to admit that you have the problem first, and you have to get the help.
I was wondering if the family knew some of the things that were going to be shown.
No, and they talked about that in the documentary, and they said this is why, especially the sister, decided to finally be a part of the documentary, which we saw in the 4th part, because she said we have to speak up, because people are going to see this and judge, like, why didn't you take your sister out of this?
Okay.
Why are you allowing this? And she's like, listen, little do you guys know, I don't have control. It's the guardianship. And we saw that with this management team, the publicists. How dare you look at Wendy and say that she's in a condition to be on camera or to get back to work? It was foolish to say, and it was a lot of foolish behavior in that documentary, but not with the family. I support the family 100%.
Well, it was certainly eye-opening, to say the very least.
Yes.
Thanks so much, Jazzie, for coming in. Always great to see you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. Love to Wendy.
Yes.